Oh, that- good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. This is an exciting day for Multnomah County. It's an exciting day for our region. We're going to have an opportunity for swearing in the new commissioners. We have an opportunity to acknowledge, I think this is perhaps the most significant gathering of regional firepower that I've ever seen. And it tells me something about the expectations people have for the county, for our region, what we're doing going forward. This is extraordinarily exciting. Chair Peterson, newly Commissioner Singleton, we've got the sheriff right up front. You'll hear from her later. Our new DA, Nathan, welcome. County Auditor, hiding in the back. What is? You money people are supposed to be up front, not hiding back there. You're watching. She's putting us all on notice that she's watching. What I said a moment ago is profound. I've been doing this, some of you know, longer than I think virtually any of you have been alive. And I've never seen an outpouring of support like we've seen here. A lot of people have reached this point. People who have made contributions during some very difficult times, making some hard decisions. Where we are now as a result of everybody's collective action makes me very optimistic about where we're going forward. I grew up in the eastern part of the region. I watched where county commissioners 60 years ago, this is nobody's fault who's alive today, but they refused to make hard decisions, like requiring people to hook up to sewers. It wouldn't have cost any more, but it was a little step that they had to take and maybe get some feedback, negative feedback. And as a result, people in East County, East Portland, ended up paying twice. And they noticed and they were cranky. And that residual effort continues. And it's part of the challenge that the commission has now moving forward, is to get past that. But I think we've got an array of people here who are equal to this challenge. I could not be more optimistic. And it's not just because I'm no longer in Congress. I'm a civilian. I've been here 4 days. But I truly am inspired by what has happened recently in our region. People have stepped up. We have a new city government. We've got new regional partnerships that I think are as strong as they've ever been. We've all been involved with the learning curve, because these are the most challenging times I think our community has ever faced. Much harder than when I was in the traces here. But we thought we had some serious problems. The largest urbanized unsewered area in the United States, economic challenges, political problems. We had overlapping services between the city and the county, but we were able collectively, using the formula that I think is still applicable, to be able to make a difference. We closed the gap, we stabilized finances, and we started making progress in ways that had eluded us. I think this, not just the commission, but the people who are represented in this room today, are positioned to be able to make even greater progress. And it's happening at just the right time. So I'm honored to be Master of Ceremonies. I'll try move it along. I'll try not to have the old guy reminisce. Although as I look around the room and so many familiar faces, and the challenges that we together have made progress on, I'm tempted to reminisce, but I won't. You can catch up with me later at Portland State. We'll have a cup of coffee and figure it out. Before we have the ceremonial swearing in, we have Alonzo Chadwick, who will share his rendition of the national anthem. Nope.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, my name is Alea Loren, and I am a relative figure of Alonzo, and I'll be singing the national anthem. Yes, please stand. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, excuse me, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Whoa. Need a second to recover from that. That was fabulous. Thank you. As we begin today, Multnomah County recognizes our shared history with Native American nations. And here to help us continue to share that history is Multnomah County Tribal Relations Liaison, J.R. Lilly.
Yate, J.R. Lilly in a share, touching the slant, such a can bushes chin, touching the Chedo Taban the Chanela. For those who don't speak Navajo, good morning. My name is J.R. Lilly. I'm part of the Red Runners Water people, born for the Cliff Dwelling people. My mother's father is also part of the Red Runners Water people, and my father's father is part of the Edgewater people. Born and raised in Window Rock, Arizona, capital of the Navajo Nation, the largest capital of the Navajo Nation, the largest and arguably the best tribe in the United States. And I'm going to be here to help us lead us through our land acknowledgement statement. If you see on the screen behind me, we are going to be collectively reading this together out loud. If you're familiar with the tribes in the area, there's this ceremony called the canoe journey. And as canoes are coming up to the shores from all over the Pacific Northwest, and when they're landing, and each time they will not come ashore until somebody welcomes them on. And so they're calling from the river saying, we're tired, we're hungry, will you accept us? And then when a tribal elder comes and welcomes them on, then they can eat and they can be there and they can do business, because we don't do business with strangers. You have to acknowledge who is the host and who are the guests. So as guests to this area, let's read this statement together. Multnomah is named after the Multnomah tribe from this area and an honor to carry their name. Our county acknowledges the land that we occupy as residents as unceded native land. Due to efforts of annihilate Native peoples from lands in history, many tribes and nations who lived, hunted, and fished in what is now Multnomah County and Oregon are not remembered. Multnomah County also acknowledges a history of the Portland metro area as a destination site for the Indian Relocation Act of 1956, which coerced Native people to leave their homes on tribal lands and assimilate into dominant culture. Because of this history, Multnomah County is home to the 9th largest urban Native population in the United States, and will continue to work in solidarity to uplift the collective power, leadership, creativity, and wisdom of Indigenous communities in the community beyond. The members of these communities seek their legacy, their lives, and their descendants. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, J.R. Elections in the last 2 years have brought us 4 new county commissioners. This morning, we will have each of the commissioners starting new terms to be introduced, take their formal oath of office, and share a few words. We will start with District 1, followed by District 3 and District 4. Julia Brigham Edwards was the ultimate staffer, left nothing to chance. Everybody's got a script. Anything that goes wrong is not her fault. We'll begin with Megan Moyer. Introducing Megan this morning will be Mary Jagger, who served in leadership roles in nonprofit, for-profit, and government organizations throughout her career. She's a passionate advocate for elders and children under the protection of the court. A first-generation American and Oregonian, Mary is a dedicated volunteer for nonprofits where she serves as a board member. And we're going to do the oath of office. Pardon? Okay. Judge Jimenez will administer the oath.
No, speaker first.
Go. Well, it's not her fault.
Well, one thing you learn in working in nonprofits and government agencies is flexibility. So glad to do so. Good morning. Actually, it's good afternoon. I'm Mary Yeager. I've had the privilege of knowing Megan Moyer, for count 'em 15 years. In 2009, when I was appointed by then Governor Kulongoski to become Oregon's long-term care ombudsman, which many of you people in the room know what that program is. For those of you who don't, it's one of the most powerful volunteer opportunities in the state of Oregon. Tiny little agency, 95% of the work is done by volunteers. I was so proud to be appointed to this position, and Governor Kulongoski said, Mary, it'll be just like working in a nonprofit with all the supports of state government around you, nothing but resources. And I got there and session was starting and it was like, wait a minute, most of the resources are imagined. And then I met Megan Moyer one day in the hallways of the Capitol. So the statute of the Oregon Long-Term Care Ombudsman requires volunteers to be advocates for people living in licensed long-term care facilities. Megan introduces herself and says, you know, I've got an idea. What if we open and expand the statute to include advocacy for kids, for youth, for non-adults living in residential care facilities? Well, I'm so new. I don't know how hard that's going to be. Many of you advocates in the room know that the swarm, the tsunami, 900, 1,400 bills, right? The lobbyists that go with them. And Megan talked me and my husband Jerry as a volunteer, going around door to door like we were selling Girl Scout cookies to all the legislators. You've probably never heard of this program. And oh, by the way, we'd like to expand it to help even more Oregonians. And Megan approached and literally monitored that process, collaborating with advocates, collaborating with legislators, balancing the needs of those potential two programs working together. And guess what? It passed. But the thing I want you to remember is the ease with which she saw the end goal, the many steps to get there, the collaboration needed to bring it all together. Why? To help Oregonians. That's our Megan. And she approaches those problems with the same ease that Martha Stewart does when she says, just call your blacksmith and have them make a hook for that thing you want to hang on the side of your house. Megan can say, just open the statute to regular people who think, wait a minute, how hard can that be? Megan, we're so proud of you. Thank you for bringing your willingness and your brain and your big heart and your big motivation to this office. You'll have nothing but support. Congratulations.
Now, Paul, elected Oregon Supreme Court in 2000, served as Chief Justice and Administrative Head of the Oregon Judicial Branch from January 2006 to 2012. He retired from the court in December 2012. Between 1990 and 2000, he sat on the Oregon Court of Appeals and served as presiding judge there. Before ascending the bench, he was in private practice for 13 years. Your Honor?
Thank you. Where would you like us to stand?
We're here.
Before I administer the oath, I'd like to say I can top Mary's knowledge of Megan. I've only known her since she was 5. So it's just great honor and privilege to administer the oath. So I'd ask you to raise your right hand and to repeat after me. I, Megan Moyer, do solemnly swear
I, Megan Moyer, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Home Rule Charter,
the Home Rule Charter,
and the laws of the County of Multnomah,
and the laws of the County of Multnomah,
and will faithfully and honorably conduct myself
and will faithfully and honorably conduct myself
in the office of Multnomah County Commissioner, District 1,
in the office of Multnomah County Commissioner, District 1,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Commissioner.
Is this a leave list? You know what I do with this? Everything.
We have witnesses.
Whew, a little nervous. So I actually wrote my speech. I'm kind of notorious for not writing speeches, but I felt like this time I would actually need to put my words down. So first, I would like to thank so many people in this room for helping me get where I am today. I don't have time to thank all of you, but I appreciate everything that you have done to teach me, mentor me, encourage me, challenge me, and support me. Without you, this would not have been possible. Thank you, Mary, for your kind words, and thank you, Judge Demunis, for coming up to Portland to administer the oath. I specifically wish to thank my family for their support they've given me during this adventure, as well as all the ups and downs of my life. I am profoundly blessed to be part of this family. This is an aspirational moment to set lofty goals and publicly commit to fixing the problems that face our community, but it is also a moment to reflect on the kind of commissioner I wish to be over the next 4 years. I chose to run for this office because I know that there are solutions to the challenges we face. I believe I can help deliver those solutions, but I cannot do this by going it alone. So I wish to express my gratitude now to Reagan, Chad, and Shelley, who've agreed to join my staff. I could not have dreamed of a better team to work with. I am so grateful to be serving with my fellow commissioners who bring such depth of knowledge and experience to their service. The chair and her staff and their dedication to this county, their willingness to collaborate, and their openness to change. And most of all, I am deeply grateful to the employees of Multnomah County who are carrying out the work of the county day after day, whose frontline experience and knowledge are vital to inform how best to serve the people of Multnomah County. I aspire to be worthy of the office in which I have been elected by the people of District 1. I strive to remain focused on the goals at hand, to put politics aside in the name of progress, be willing to work with anyone willing to roll up their sleeves, assume good intent, remember change is possible but requires work and dedication, strive to listen and learn, champion other people's good ideas, be a voice for those without access and influence, stay true to my morals and values, and ask others to hold me accountable to these goals. Finally, I wish to end with a prayer from my Catholic upbringing, which is the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, and to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life.
Next, for District 3, Julia Brim Edwards. Sharing reflective remarks about her is Portland City Councilor Eric Zimmerman. Eric previously served as Chief of Staff to District 4 Commissioner Diane McKeel, followed by leadership positions in the Portland Mayor's office, and 18 months ago joined Commissioner Brim Edwards' office as Chief of Staff there. Last week, he was sworn in as a member of the new Portland City Council. Community safety is a priority with Commissioner Brim Edwards, and this morning, administering the oath of office will be County Sheriff Nicole Morrissey O'Donnell. In her 25 years in the sheriff's office, Sheriff Morrissey O'Donnell has moved through the ranks of deputy, lieutenant, captain, chief deputy, and undersheriff. During all that time, always prioritizing community safety. She holds dual certification in police and corrections and is the first woman to serve as Multnomah County Sheriff. Eric? The information for you.
Just before we get started, if the Willamette Week is out there, I had Cool Ranch Doritos before we walked in today. Thank you, Congressman. Happy first retirement. Thank you for staying a resource for us in the community. I met Julia in the year leading up to her special election. In fact, we were sitting opposite sides of issues, but both working on the recovery of downtown, on the recovery of the city, in the craziness that had enveloped the city after the pandemic. After she won her special election, she asked me to join her team, and frankly, it was a no-brainer. From minute one, Julia was off to the races, trying to focus county services towards the needs and the priorities that she heard on the campaign trail. You know, somewhere along the way over the last few years, I think a lot of our leadership in Portland forgot that we are delivering on behalf of the public at large. And Julia was elected in an era where that frustration was bubbling up. As her chief of staff, I learned very quickly that any amount of status quo, of that's how the county does it, was not going to work for her. That the role of commissioner was not going to be relegated to a rubber stamp. Right off the bat, we got to work. We were looking at why East Portland was not getting as much attention for cleanups, why enhanced service districts only existed in the central city and not in the many business and cultural districts of East Portland. Julia saw the positive impacts, the meaningful impacts that good neighbor agreements could actually have for our neighbors living near shelters and other large social services sites. And she elevated those expectations and the importance of a good neighbor agreement for our expectations at the county, that shelters that open on 82nd Avenue now will have a good neighbor agreement for those neighbors who are nearby. And that if it can work in the central city, it can work in East Portland. I can't tell you what an enormous shift this approach was for a county commissioner, but Julia understands, and it's important, that if we're ever going to open enough shelters to bring everybody in off of the streets, we also need to have the public support. We need to acknowledge that sometimes social services locations have impacts on the surrounding neighborhoods, on the surrounding businesses, on the nearby safe routes to school. And Julia never ignored those facts. It's what she hears every single day from East Portland residents. And it drives so much of how she approaches the county's footprint in the community. I think in this last year and a half, and now for the next 4 years, it's safe to say that East Portland has someone in the ring for them, and not just in the ring, but the elbows are out and the stance is firm. You know, some items that Julia brought to our community in short order. Number one, Multnomah County is going to open a sobering center for the first time in our community since 2019 because Julia Brim Edwards got her elbows out on a huge problem in our community and on a topic entrenched with special interests and few outcomes to show. Number two, Multnomah County has reinvested in public safety for the first time in my career by returning funding to the district attorney's office, to the sheriff's office, things that in previous iterations of county funding just simply didn't occur. Why? Because Julia Brim Edwards had a firm stance. The Gateway District in East Portland has enhanced cleanup services in partnership with TriMet and Portland and the city of Portland because East Portland deserves the same livability services that we have in the central city. Small businesses, like the many mom and pop stores that are run in the Division Midway Alliance by first-generation immigrants, they didn't face an increase in health inspection fees this year because Julia saw the real-world impact that unanticipated costs or regulations have on businesses like that, recognizing that the cultural differences are how we can stay connected to our communities through food, through a way of life, and to one another. And number 5, Multnomah County and Portland have adopted a sheltering plan larger than ever before in our community. One that finally admits that shelter is part of the solution to ending unsheltered homelessness. And she relentlessly pursued additional funding at every single opportunity that she found, be it the SHS reset, be it the regular county budget. Finally, we are not ignoring shelter development, and we certainly won't as long as Commissioner Bren Edwards is sitting on that dais. The pursuit of good solutions to the very last nickel, the carving out of programs for East Portland to the very last nickel, I think that's what you get when you have a firm stance and some elbows out, and it's working for our community. In my career, I cannot tell you what a huge difference in tone and tenor that these accomplishments are for Multnomah County, and speaking as a resident, how deeply welcome they are. Portland's public is incredibly compassionate. They are gracious when it comes to the needs of our most vulnerable, but they also want to be heard. They want a champion in the room, and they want that champion to question the status quo that hasn't been working. I'm glad to help where I could, but all of us who know Julia, they know that she would have been off to the races regardless of any advice that I ever could have given her. Julia is an experiential learner. She's a feeler. Often she wears her emotions on her sleeve in a way that is genuine, where you know she is empathizing with people on individual levels. You know, accompanying Julia on site visits around the community was a great joy for me as a staffer, because when she hears the stories from the community, she really brought those stories back into our office to understand our impact on real people with real solutions and real problems. And that mattered. And she doesn't shy away from trying to make government service make sense to everyday Portland. And we're better for it. We are better for it because Julia's work happens in public, and debate happens in public, and decisions are made in public. Julia, it has been wonderful working for you. Wonderful. I learn something every single day that we work together. I am so grateful that you are here. I am so fortunate that I get to work with you now as a partner from the Portland City Council. East Portland and all of the residents of Multnomah County are rooting for you, and we admire your style of public service. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for our community with you in office for a full term and a host of new colleagues. Thank you for serving. If I could ask the sheriff and Julia's family to come on up, please.
I'll keep my elbows in around you.
Wait for your family. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Julia Brim Edwards,
I, Julia Brim Edwards,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Home Rule Charter,
the Home Rule Charter,
and the laws of the County of Multnomah,
and the laws of the County of Multnomah,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and honorably
and honorably
conduct myself
conduct myself
in the office of Multnomah County Commissioner, District 3,
in the office of Multnomah County Commissioner, District 3,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Uh, It's the second time, but it still feels the same like the first time. So thank you, Congressman. We still get to call you that even though you're a civilian now. Thank you, Nicole. And also to Eric. We had a great run. I'm looking forward to working with you in a new capacity. Sorry. And I want to start with just a heartfelt thanks to my mom, Randall, my kids, Jackson, Thomas, and Catherine, my brother, and you may have noticed my sisters, as well as my extended family and friends who have helped shape who I am today. And to Multnomah County employees and my District 3 staff, as well as the community leaders and activists, I'm extending appreciation and gratitude today for working alongside me, either the last 18 months at the county or for the last 3 decades in the community. To those I live with in East Portland, I'm honored to be your representative on the County Commission. 63 years ago, my husband had to correct this morning that I had the wrong number of years. 63 years ago, I was born in Portland, in Good Sam Hospital in Northwest Portland. And not long after, my parents brought me and my sisters to our home on the east side of Portland, which has pretty much been my home for the last 50 years. This place we call home is worth fighting for. As of today, we have a new commission, and before us, a historic challenge. Our call to action. More than 11,000 people are homeless in our community. A record 456 county residents died homeless in 2023. Justice has been delayed or denied at a time when there's escalated levels of crime and gun violence. Thousands of people are struggling without access to drug treatment or mental health services. And too many of our beloved local businesses or drivers of our local economy are closing or relocating out of Multnomah County. As Eric mentioned, when I joined the commission, I said I was going to disrupt the status quo. We had millions of unspent funds and forward progress seemed stalled. We needed to take urgent action against our biggest challenges and make measurable progress. Our work needed to be done in partnership with the city and with transparency and accountability. We needed a little less conversation and a lot more action. This past year, we did make progress. For example, our work with the City of Portland created the county's largest expansion of alternative shelter beds. We have a plan and funding from the legislature, thank you to the legislature, for a permanent 24/7 sobering and crisis stabilization center. We've made critical investments in day centers, recovery housing, and community safety. But now is not the time to admire incremental progress. It's time to double our efforts. Commissioners Moyer, Singleton, Jones, Dixon, Chair Vega-Peterson, and Commissioner Singleton, we have a shared desire, I know, from just both Chair, but also my new colleagues from our initial conversations. I know that we share a commitment to improve life for our neighbors and also for this community. And I'm really looking forward to working with you all to do just that. It's going to require all of our elected leaders at the county and at the cities to work together. We can't do it as separate or competing entities. Now is the time to make big swings. Big swings. Here are 5 concrete steps we can take right now to improve things in Multnomah County. 1, immediately take action on unsheltered homelessness by not waiting until the next budget cycle. We have millions in one-time funds, and now is the time to work with Mayor Wilson and the City Council to end the humanitarian crisis on our streets. 2, move ahead with the opening of a permanent 24/7 drop-off sobering center. January is the month to start siting, permitting, and development, and I appreciate the chair's work on the sobering leadership team to make that happen and all the county staff. 3, ensure our public spaces and neighborhoods are safe and livable. We must remain true to the values of compassion and equity, and also make it clear that criminal activity has consequences. We should prioritize resources within our current budget so the sheriff, the DA, and public defense have the resources they need to support community safety, and timely and effective justice in Multnomah County. 4, develop and implement a countywide economic empowerment and recovery strategy, one that also considers the affordability of housing, utilities, and food, and the layered taxes and fees community members and local businesses shoulder. And 5, in our House here in Multnomah County, we need to enact a series of good governance measures that will increase accountability, strengthen democratic practices, and effective action that leverages the talents, expertise, and experience that every member of this commission is going to bring. So let's have a strong start to 2025. So this place we call home is a safe, affordable, thriving place to live, work, start a business, and raise a family. Thank you all, and I'm looking forward to working with all of my fellow commissioners.
And now for our final commission member from District 4, Vince Jones Dixon. I'm privileged to introduce Keeble Grissom, a respected leader in housing and community safety in the state of Oregon and abroad. He will introduce and share a few words about Commissioner Jones Dixon and will, as he steps into a historic role as the first Black man elected to serve as a Multnomah County Commissioner. Following his remarks, we will welcome Emmanuel McFadden Jr., a dedicated community safety advocate, forward to administer the oath of office. Mr. Grissom.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Pleasure. Good afternoon, everyone. My mom is watching, so I have to say it. My name is Keeble Giscombe. Hi, Mom. All right. So I'm here, and it's really an honor being able to talk to you all about Mr. Jones Dixon. And if I do fall short, I thank you, Eric, for letting me borrow your thing you just used earlier. So I would say it's an honor to speak to you today as a resident of Multnomah County and a friend and colleague of Mr. Jones Dixon. I've had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the qualities that make him not only exceptional, but uniquely suited for this role. Mr. Jones is distinguished by his unwavering dedication to public services and ability to address challenges in meaningful and lasting ways. I've had the opportunity to see him in different functions where he's able to work with issues surrounding education, criminal justice, family, and also crime. And he show up with the same energy, with the same outlook, and he's the same person in all the different spaces. He also one of his strengths is that he's extremely thoughtful and forward-thinking, and he's grounded in the sense of purpose. And he's also very big on making sure that the mistakes are not repeated and that progress is sustained throughout his time. There's so many other qualities. He's also have a deep commitment in building an inclusive and equitable community. He's devoted to fostering an environment where each resident feels valued, respected, and heard. His leadership style, I would just say, is empathy and passion and vision. He also makes sure he put the effort in to make sure that each resident know his compassion. I've had the opportunity to know for several years, and every single conversation is about how can we make Oregon better, how can we make Multnomah County better, and how we can make each family and their interaction better. So I know that's something that's really big for him, and I do see it in every way. And another great thing that I've also know about Mr. Jones is that he has the ability to inspire and motivate anyone that he come in touch with. Even if it may not be something that you may not have on your frontal lobe, after speaking with him, it's now become your cause. So there's things where I find myself rallying forward, and I'm like, well, was it mine or was it Mr. Jones Dixon? And then one of the biggest things that I learned by talking to him is not that it's mine or his, it's that it's us. And that's something that I would say that he is very big with focusing on us. The last piece that I would like to say is that it's a pleasure seeing him in work. And I would like to say, when I say I'm grateful to be able to know him and meet him, I'm speaking as a collective. I'm speaking as educators who have had the opportunity to sit down with him, school counselors that had the opportunity to sit down with him being able to listen, to try to find out how can we how can we improve the education system, make sure each people get a better outcome, to have a better future, to make sure the criminal justice is fair and just. So with the collective, I'm really happy that you're in this position, and congratulations and good luck.
Family to come on. It's all space.
Hello, Mr. Commissioner. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Vincent Jones Dixon. No, Vince Jones Dixon.
Vince Jones Dixon.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Home Rule Charter,
the Home Rule Charter,
and the laws of the County of Multnomah,
and the laws of the County of Multnomah,
and will faithfully and honorably conduct myself
and will faithfully and honorably conduct myself
in the office of Multnomah County Commissioner,
in the office of Multnomah County Commissioner,
District 4,
District 4,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Commissioner. And
I have a script, and I'm going to stick to the script. I'm going to go off script for just 30 seconds, just to share the importance of my family. Just want to thank my wife, Misha, extended family, my mother. Keeble, thank you for the words. I called you at the last minute. I know you're an extreme introvert. You made it out here. Thank you so much. Mr. McFadden, the significance of Mr. McFadden, he's been with me over the last 10 or 7 years. Specifically, he has this term that he calls the invisible species, and he stretched me. And I was thinking, considering my brother and the loss of him, I'll share a little bit in my speech. It's kind of ironic as well. The incoming DA, Nathan Vasquez, he was the district attorney that supported my family when my brother was shot and killed 10 years ago. So it's ironic that we're serving at the same time. So I'm beyond honored to be here with you all this morning, and thank you. I'm going to get back to the script because I have 2 minutes. Today, actually I have to
Whoa. I'm fired up. New leaders with diverse expertise and experience committed to improving the lives and conditions in Multnomah County makes us all hopeful. Capturing that spirit, here is Eldon T. Jones with "A Change is Going to Come." Fabulous. Thank you so much. Now, can we have the entire county commission come up, the newbies, the holdovers, and have a photo op of your new county commission.
Thank you all for coming. Putting on my funeral record. Thank you, Julia, for planning, running point on everything that you do. And thank you all for being here. We have refreshments, stay, hang out, and get to know us. Let's enjoy the sunshine.